back for a little bit more of No Man's Sky. Gonna get the chat set up real quick. There we go. Turn the volume down so I don't hear myself talking. Alright, we are about 92 hours on this save. Normal mode. Gonna have to start a survival save sometime in the near future. Hopefully the Wi-Fi will hold. Although that wasn't the problem with the last time. Last time we had the error was actually a glitch on a freighter. Alright, so while we're waiting for some ships to load in, let's go ahead and talk to the tech merchant. He is not fully rendered in yet. And we are going to sell all of these. Don't want the A's or the B's. Alright, 30,000 nanites and 3.2 billion. I always want to say ISK. That's the Eve coming through. I played a little Apex with Jenny for a bit there, so my controls feel wonky. Always happens to me that I try and do the wrong thing, so at some point in time I'm going to try and run, and I'll accidentally scan everything. Alright, well our language has reset on these guys. Let's get a little dialect help while we're waiting. Mystery symbol. Catalog. Alright, let's see how we're doing with the Corvax. Need 8 more words to the next level. There we have an A class. Ooh. There's a Dora. Ooh, she's a 3812. Come here, buddy. Make sure we don't have S-class floating around. Oh, another A. Like I said, I'm being patient on the S-class here. So I'm just going to scrap some stuff. Scrap that one. Let's find this guy. He's over here. $5.5 million. Scrap him for 3.85. it back in recycling. Alright, so now our fighter's in the corner. Upgraded to S-Class. And we can send these all to the ship. Although, should be saving these. How am I doing on? Alright, so that's maxed back out. There I go. Scanning things instead of running. Move these guys down here. Just so they're out of the way. B, there's a new one. Huh. Well, let's go ahead and do the shuttle. Interesting body style on that almost Adora. Every once in a while the RNG will kick out something completely different. Yeah, 3.17 billion. I think I'm doing okay on the cash there. But when you go through, you get to a certain point, and cash no longer becomes really a problem. Ballistic, I don't know if you've watched before, but if you want, I could show you real quick where I'm getting all of my cash. Let me let this next ship come in here real quick. And I will clean out some inventory space because I'm going to need it for a moment. Alright, so let's get rid of the upgrade modules. Alright, so we're now at 32,124 nanites. Gotta make sure I'm not missing them. That's fine. Alright, then we'll go over here to the Galactic Trade Terminal real quick. Switch to that, get rid of that. At 1.7, just off of that alone. You make a decent amount of money scrapping ships, but to get the money, you need to have the money. Alright, so we're back up to 3.28 billion. You don't buy anything at all. Do you make bases? Because this is actually not how I make all of my money. This is how I make all of my money. Now, if you don't make bases or anything else like that, then yeah, you're going to have a hard time making lots and lots of cash unless you're specifically going out and digging up ancient bones and stuff like that, which is a really good way of making cash if you just have the terrain manipulator. But what I did is I set up 4 bases very similar to this, which are my activated indium deep mines. Basically my cash cows. See, I can't even get out of the door. But I'll show you this one in just 1 second. 229,000 activated indium. I can barely carry that in my suit. But this one, this is what this particular base looks like. So I have a whole bunch of mineral extractors cranking out, and then a whole bunch of supply depots. Just catching that. Alright, and Galactic Trade Terminal. Let's see what if I've ruined the economy on this particular one. Down to negative 11.9. It's 191 million just for this one station. Gotcha. Yeah, if you're not looking for money and you don't need it, there are a ton of different play styles. Good activated indium too. If you're not looking to purchase a lot of things and do a lot of that, then you don't really need a lot of cash, and you can just explore. Chlorine's a good way to do it, and then I always started out with salt, because I tended to get onto planets that I had salt deposits. I would go out and do that. I used to use the autonomous mining units, and I'd find a salt deposit and plop 5 of them on top of there. And then they came out with the deep minings. So now I go out and I scan for activated indium. I actually have another system that I found with some activated indium planets that I'm getting ready to develop some more mines on. Because I pretty much have maxed all of these out at what that particular location will handle. It's like this one's about half as big as the other one. And the reason being for that is power. It was all about what the power situation was. If I could find an electromagnetic place, that would help out. But if not, I would have to run solar. And as you can see, I've got a bunch of different mines that are doing different things, like the dioxide, the silver, an ammonia deep mine, salt and radon. Oh, right on. Making your own hub. Yeah, I started out doing a lot of bases for UAS with Xaine and Sword and those guys. And then everybody kind of got off PS4. Sword and I were going around doing a whole bunch of different bases for circuit boards and other things and leaving them open to everybody. And then he got on the PC and got off the PS4 and kind of lost my like support buddy there. Started just kind of playing for myself again. Go check out this salt mine. Yeah, vortex cubes and tetracobalt's a good way to go. The other thing that I always did early on would be focus on my scanners. Get my scanners up so that as I went out and about, I would make a lot of cash. That way, I think now, like with this particular setup, it's only 29,000 salt. And then 36,000 radon. I wonder if actually, on average, I think for a new plant, I get about 100,000 units just for scanning. I've always been the type of person to set it up that I try and make it so that money is not a concern. Let's go back to supply 24. Yeah, Sword's pretty cool. He taught me a lot when I first got on. I happened across Thranxes and his stream or his videos on YouTube, and then came across Xaine's world, and I don't even remember how Sword and I met. I might have actually sent Xaine a message, and since I was PS4, I think he sent me to Sword because Sword was doing all the bases, and then started watching his stream and stuff like that, and learning a lot of lessons on base building. Like watching his stream last night. That base he built last night is just absolutely gorgeous. And what he's able to do these days with the I'm gonna sell stuff off. What he's able to do with the PC builds compared to what he was always able to do with the PS4 builds is just amazing. I need to send these all to the ship so that I have room. This particular base, or this particular space station, has really nice explorers, or the explorers that I really like. And it's been dumping a whole lot of S-class ships on me, so I gotta pay attention. Alright, so that's not even getting all of my activated indium stations, and that's 337 million units off of that. So yeah, not really not too worried about the cash these days. Always wanted to be a real life billionaire, and that is not what I wanted to do. Put that back in the ship because I want to sell that off too, because I don't need the salt or the radon at the moment. Still getting used to the new stuff from Synthesis. particularly the new storage capacities. Beyond and Synthesis have definitely been my friend with storage capacity. I am one of those people that has always been like a hoarder of supplies and materials. I like to go out and mine stuff and gather resources, and was always running out of space. Always running out of space. Yeah, I've always been a big fan of the Explorers, particularly now. Um, I used to go for the baller haulers, the 4-ball haulers, because 48.8 was the best. But this Explorer right here is an A, and it's a 48.14 now, and it'll be a 48.21 once I S-class this bad boy. That right there, that's what I'm looking for. These are what I call the Doras. Dora the Explorer. I like the symmetrical designs. I like the big nacelles on the sides. It pains me to do this, but I'm going to scrap this one too. Felt kind of dumb because I think 2 days ago I had an S-class land. Oh shoot, there it is. Ballistic, you are my lucky charm. The S-class landed and I missed it because I was goofing off doing something else. Alright, so now I have the S-class on that. That is awesome. Because all my other ones are A's. So, and it's a 3812. Excellent. Alright, so the first thing we need to do is let's upgrade her. Upgrade Starship. Let's apply some augmentations, save myself 60 million right off the bat. Oh good, it's not asking me yes or no every time. I think I had 70 augmentations sitting in storage. $220 million per location now. Oh, that is a glorious thing. Alright, I'm happy. And that one's still sitting there because I purchased it. Poor guy. He's stuck there forever now. Or at least until I resave. Alright, so give me the emergency warp, the efficient thrusters, for your limiter, delimiter, don't need that. Do need the launch thrusters. Efficient thrusters. Let's move the pulse engines. Hyperdrive. Don't need the rocket launchers. gonna keep the photon cannons. And deflector shields. Put that there for now. Actually, let's put... Now we can leave the pulse engine there. Don't think they're on recycler. Nope. What I wish I could do is move these from this ship to the new one. That would be awesome, but no such luck. Something just warped right in. Okay. Oh, okay. I did not know that. Alright, so Spear of Umisats gets renamed. This is now my new Dora. We're going to do Dora 2. Alright, so I need to go to a different system. Because I don't want to call my freighter in here. Yeah, unfortunately with the with some of the changes, they kind of ruin the stats. We've also got a lot of hidden stats these days that they don't show you anymore. I think I was watching Craze. Craze was doing a breakdown on what the actual values were. Like if you upgrade a ship from an A to an S, as opposed to a natural S-class, you lose like 6% across the board. You still get an S-class, and it still gets S-class stats, but it gets base S-class stats, which of course are not horrible. But if you actually got a natural S-class, it normally has a minimum of 6% higher across the stats. The system is very pink. Now this is my next frustration. With synthesis, with Beyond and synthesis, yeah, that's hard to say. The freighter stats and the freighter slots. Like, here's my S-class with a hyperdrive of 139.9, 34 slot. But then my tech slots, I have 4. And I can upgrade this one to 7. But some of them actually have 14. Or naturally will have 9. Which I thought was kind of crappy. Alright, so it's 4814. That's recycler. That's storage. That was Dora. That was the original one. And then Builder. Alright, Dora, what do you have in you? Alright, so Dora's already pretty well decked out. Builder. I don't think I did anything to Builder. I already put a bunch of stuff in Builder. storage? Did I put anything in storage? Okay, cool. So storage is the 1, 2... Storage is going to bite it. Okay, so storage, sorry, but you get replaced. Taking one for the team there, buddy. Oh, let's see if I can smack there. Well, like I said, with the upgrades, like the fighter that I have, I upgraded from an A to an S, mainly because I don't do a lot of fighter craft stuff. I'm more of an explorer type of a guy than a destroy things in space. I don't really like the space combat aspect of this game. I'm not very good at it. But I upgraded that one to an S class just to have it. So everything's basically like 150 stats as opposed to 155.6 or 156.5. I can't remember what the actual difference was between a natural S and an augmented S. And a lot of people are still figuring out the numbers. Playing on PS4, obviously I can't data mine the files, whereas a lot of the PC gamers can actually get in there and see what the true spreadsheet stats are. And I know Xaine does a lot of it, and Craze does a bunch of it. There's a bunch of other people that do. So I'm glad for those people to be out there. Alright, so I need to remember to exchange. Actually, you know what? I could just scrap her. Make sure that she is empty. She is. I need the slot available is why I gotta do this. Oh, this hurts. But sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Alright, so here's my fighter now. And as you can see, it's a S-Class 4821. I've augmented it so the stats are not going to show correctly. But basically, when you update everything from the A to the S, the base stats, like I said, would be like 150. Whereas if this was a natural minimum class, S-Class, it would have all been 156s. If you check out Craze's, he's got an S-Class guide for synthesis that he just put out on YouTube. It's pretty easy to find. Alright, so I need to put all those in there. I should really go back and get a recycler. But since I'm here, I hate wasting time, so I'm going to actually recycle another one. I was super happy that they instituted the ship scrapping. What I really would have liked, though, is if they had taken it one step further and allowed true ship customization, uh, where you could buy upgrades to parts or alter the appearance, because there's a bunch of times I'm a huge fan of the symmetrical explorers in particular, and I found a bunch of the really cool ones where they would have like half of what I was looking for, where the main body would look really cool, and then the like the side nacelles would just not be right for me. I really do need to go get a recycler because I don't want to carry a bunch of this stuff. There I go, trying to scan things instead of run. Let's head back over here and go get on the freighter and pick that up. But I was saying that, you know, found a bunch of systems where they had a good core body, where the accessories were just wrong, or some of the tall explorers, like the ones that look kind of like an eggplant, but they wouldn't have the nacelles on the side, or they'd have the big solar panels on the sides, or the particular style that I've been getting with the big round barrels on the sides. I actually have one on another save that has that exact same body style, but instead of the little fins on the side, it also has the really long, narrow solar panels on it, so it's huge. It's like extremely wide compared to everything else. Or if you bought like a hauler, you could find like a gooseneck that you really, really like, and then put like square panels on the sides, or square boxes on the sides, or put balls on it, or trade out your standard balls for shielded balls or something like that. So I'd love to see if they would get into ship customization that way. What was I doing? Oh, I need to get recycler. There she is. Got distracted. Forgot what I was doing. And then the other thing that I'd really love to see Hello Games come out with would be freighter combat. I would love to be able to warp my freighter into a system where there's a freighter under attack, and use my freighter and my frigates to actually go after them. Or what I think would be even cooler is freighter-to-freighter combat, where you could warp into a system and there'd be a like a pirate freighter, so you could do like broadsides. That would be a lot of fun. Alright, so I have recycler here. Let's move everything over to her. The cobalt mirror, the antimatter. Definitely keep the circuit boards. Alright, let's put that in high capacity cargo so I don't accidentally get rid of it. And I only have 71 augmentations right now. I've been scrapping a few ships, that's for sure. It's also really funny because I go around and sometimes I forget how far I've gotten on these. I'm in the wrong space station. Um, like, I'll forget that I have 3 billion units. Alright, I brought that ship in. Is there anything I need off of that? There's a lot of pulse engine upgrades. So I was sitting there watching a stream last night. After the sword raid, we went and watching a younger player, and she's still relatively new, or apparently she seems relatively new to the game. Sometimes I forget, you know, how much money I have in the bank, so I'm just like, oh yeah, just go up and scrap ships. And she's working on her first repair job, where she's trying to repair and explore, and she needed activated copper for something. I'm just like, yeah, you know, if you just go to the Nexus turn on your multiplayer, and I'll drop a bunch for you. I'll drop you 9,999 of it. And she's like, you have 10,000 activated copper. I was like, yeah, I'm getting ready to scrap it. It was just kind of funny. Alright, so we are back to Supply 24 door PC Shield S system. God, I hate that naming convention I did. But it tells me everything I need to know about this system. I need more S-class of the Doras. I also need to see, do I have that as that, or is it just a portal location? So many stations I have to flip through. Nope, just a portal address. So like that body style right there, I'd love to take those balls off the side and then put the big barrels on there. That would be kind of cool. Love the animations for these guys too. Or those wings are... Alright, well, time to scrap another one. I'm actually pretty glad that you can do this and then get the nanites for the upgrade modules, because I got sick and tired of cooking. Didn't like that you had to turn everything one at a time. This particular station is prospecting opulent and a destructive, so it's a high-end economy with high-end conflict. Now, one of the other things that I always do when I'm first starting out is I will set up my trade routes. Like if you look at the naming conventions that I was using for all of my portals, I'll actually go show you real quick because we don't have anything coming in at the moment. It's an A class. Ooh. That's a C class. Alright, so early on, I will end up with, see, like TR6, TR2, TR3, TR4. Now, the trade routes, the TRs, these are actually trade routes. So if we go to TR2, you can pick up the trade items from the Galactic Trade Terminal and then go on to TR3 and sell the stuff from TR2 for max profit. Buy the trade supplies there and then go to TR4. So I would basically do that, and then with the supplies, what I ended up doing was I was doing so much building, I was running out of metal plating so fast. So all of the supply locations are ones that I could just hit one after the other. Every one of them has at least 110 metal plating and normally 3,000 to 4,000 ferrite dust per station, so that I could resupply for that very quickly. The Red Dwarf characters. Yeah, on one of my other saves, my main save, I focused on my naming from Dragon Riders of Pern. I found a system that had the right number of planets and moons. I actually named one Pern. It was a lush one that had burning storms that came through. But like I was naming all of the planets after the different bases and stuff like that in the star systems. I was naming after the holds and the locations from Anne McCaffrey's novels. I've always been a big Dragon Riders of Pern fan. And then I'm also personally an ElfQuest fan, so I have a whole bunch of stuff named after ElfQuest characters and things from those book series. Alright, that's not supposed to be in there because I'm trying to save that. Was that? I saw a ship come in. Again, running out of space. Alright, So I think I'm going to send some things to the freighter. Clean it up from there later. Okay, I believe inventory is straightened out. Let's jump in here. Okay, thank you, sweetie. And on that note, I'm going to take a break. It is dinner time. Thanks for stopping by. I'll probably be streaming a little bit later. Until next time, fly safe.